Recording in progress.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming, and we're very grateful for so many wonderful people and distinguished new guests, and very honourable, respectable people who have been invited for the first time, and we're very grateful for your excellency for coming. Thank you so much. And all of you, we're so grateful that you could come today, for all the people online as well. Universal Peace Federation in the UK, we have this last Tuesday of the month where we make a gathering as a monthly meeting, and we want to keep that rhythm of programs. And we pick up, particularly the International Day of Peace is actually on the 21st. But we want to hold it on the last Tuesday of the month to commemorate. Peace is such a wonderful thing. And to have genuine peace, then really humanity can flourish. And we only notice it when we're lacking it. And we only notice, and it becomes so strongly aware to us when we don't have peace. So we're going to start with two invocations. First of all, I'm going to call Mr. Mohammed Aslam to give some of the nasheed, which we can start with. And secondly, we're going to have a Hindu chant. So we can have at least two faiths represented today, and throughout the year we'll have many faiths represented. So Mr. Mohammed Aslam. Thank you. Please come.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to perform a Muslim nasheed in Punjabi, a short nasheed. In this nasheed, Allah Ta'ala, God is praising His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Sallallahu alayka ya Rasulallah wa sallam alayka ya Habiballah. रब फरमाया महबूबा ज़माने सारे तेरे ने रब फरमाया महबूबा ज़माने सारे तेरे ने अर्श वाले फर्श वाले दीवाने सारे तेरे ने अर्श वाले फर्श वाले दीवाने सारे तेरे ने। रब फरमाते हैं मैं खालिक सारी दुनिया दा तू मालिक सारी दुनिया दा किसे मंगते नू ना मोड़ी खजाने सारे तेरे ने किसे मंगते नू ना मोड़ी खजाने सारे तेरे ने। अज़ा होवे नमाज होवे दरूद होवे सलाम होवे अज़ा होवे नमाज होवे दरूद होवे सलाम होवे जो गूंजन हर तरफ सजना तराने सारे तेरे ने जो गूंजन हर तरफ सजना तराने सारे तेरे ने। अमीरा नाल कर लेंदा मोहब्बत हर कोई नासर अमीरा नाल कर लेंदा मोहब्बत हर कोई नासर गरीबां नाल महबूबा याराने सारे तेरे ने गरीबां नाल महबूबा याराने सारे तेरे ने। रब फरमाया महबूबा ज़माने सारे तेरे ने अर्श वाले फर्श वाले दीवाने सारे तेरे ने। शुक्रिया, थैंक यू।
Thank you very much for that. I'd like to invite up now Mr. Bhupendra Sundhu, who's an Ayurvedic practitioner and a Hindu priest. Thank you.
Namaste. I'll do two mantras. Two mantras is in Sanskrit, and I'll say it in English as well. And in the beginning, all of you say Om, Om, Om. So it's a Gayatri mantra in Sanskrit. Om Bhuvah Swaha Tat Savitu Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yona Prachodayat. O God, the giver of life, remover of pain and sorrows, and bestower of happiness. Thou hast created this universe. You are most luminous, pure and adorable. We meditate upon Thee, Lord. Lord, please guide our intellect, our mind in the right direction so that we can do good deeds. Om. Om. And the Shanti mantra, the peace mantra. If you know, repeat after me. Om Dhyo Shanti Antariksha Gwam Shanti Prithivi Shanti, Apa Shanti, Oshadhaya Shanti, Vanaspataya Shanti, Vishvedeva Shanti, Brahma Shanti, Sarvagwam Shanti, Shanti Reva Shanti Sama, Shanti Redhi. Say Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. May there be peace in the sky. May there be peace in the atmosphere. May there be peace on earth. May the waters bring us peace and harmony. May the herbs and the seeds bring us peace. May the trees and the forests bring us peace. May the learned people, the rulers of the world, bring us peace and harmony. May the celestial objects bring us peace and harmony. May there be peace and harmony everywhere in everyone. Peace of peace, everlasting peace. May that peace come and repose in all of us. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Thank you. The word Om in St. John, Apostle St. John said the word, in the beginning was the word was with God, and God is the word. So all words are Om. Om.
Thank you. Okay. Margaret? Margaret, you want to come up here as well? So, Margaret and I have been working together for many years with Universal Peace Federation UK, and we're both very grateful to invite you and to welcome you here today.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you, and particularly it's very good to have a dignitary brought to us by our friends. And we really think that everybody is a dignified person here, but one that is accepted by other people must be respected. So I just want that we have really not just peaceful, but a loving atmosphere to really show each other kindness and understanding, and that will be peace. Wanted. Look at our everybody that's here. Also, Aurangzeb came back. He's been away in Pakistan. Everybody who's here, Ian is a very special guest, very nice person. Actually, you can see peace on his face. He will be speaking to you next. And our own Sheikh, everybody here is a very special person. So let's have a nice time together.
I'd like to also welcome Keith Best, who's the chair of our trustees.
My Keith Best is working for many charities, but I am sure, besides Federalist Movement, UPF is one of his most one thing.
We have a special place in his heart.
Yeah, in his heart, that's what it is. And he's chair of trustees. And also my friend Alex comes from far. You're welcome, everybody. Okay, Teuta, welcome. Okay, and we've got a new person, first time again, from Iran. Fariba, welcome. And also a friend of Juliet. What is your name? Sabrina, welcome. Yeah, everybody welcome. And you know, when you're singing the nasheed, I just remember the old days. We used to have several, very many religious people coming and giving chants or speeches together. Have 5, 6 different people. And every time there was such a celebration, I would ask him to come. Even without understanding even the words, you can see his passion and his love for God as he's singing. It's very beautiful to see, isn't it? Yeah. Who's coming next?
I wanted to invite Ian to address us first.
Explain.
Ian Pelham-Turner. Partly why I'm going to call him first is because Ian is a royal photographer, and he has a special relationship, I think, with the royal family. And since we've just gone through such a special time, and Ian is very exhausted after giving many, I think he said he commentated to 4.2 billion people during those 10 days of the morning. So we'd like to welcome you up first. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. It sometimes takes me longer to get up here than it does to give the talk, so you'll have to forgive me tonight. I was just reflecting recently. I've been a journalist for 56 years now. I've been a television broadcaster for the past 12. And my special subjects are really politics and the royal family. And sometimes they mix together and sometimes they don't. And I was just thinking recently, what brought all the nations together at the Queen's funeral? Now, when I was doing the Queen's funeral, I was doing it for a Sky channel. So as I can testify, and you can probably still see the bags under my eyes, we were on broadcast for 6 hours and 40 minutes. That's a long time in broadcasting. We had 10 minutes for orange and biscuits, and that was our sort of main sustainable. And what I was looking at was, why do people come together? What are people seeking in this world? And how can television and communication systems create peace? And I think that's very, very important, because when I first was raised, I can remember when I was 5 or 6 years old, a thing called Telstar. My parents had just bought a television. It was an old black and white set. And for the first time, my father allowed me up after my sort of bedtime to watch this first broadcast from New York to London. And I'm thinking, my goodness, you know, we can now see what's going on in New York. The world has got a lot smaller in communication terms. And I think the reality nowadays as well is that events like the royal family are events that bring the whole nations together as well. And I saw it, you know, and at the start, I started, I think it happened on the Wednesday, and nobody was more shocked than me. I was doing my political bet because I was listening to Prime Minister's Question Time when suddenly the speaker said, we have commiserations for the royal family and a citation. And I flew out of my sort of slumber of listening to Prime Minister's Question Time and wondering what's going on. Unfortunately, within a very short space of time, I'd already known that the Queen had passed away. And so within hours, I was getting calls from across the world because what does the royal family mean to a lot of people? It means inclusion. It means family. Sometimes peace. Sometimes I haven't always been really in favour of some of the things that have happened with the royal family and have said so. And I think, you know, during those times, you wonder, in reality, you know, are they looking at a future themselves? For me, the future is that we all come together. We all come together. We all create value in our lives. You know, the thing I love about journalism is you can affect so many people just by a simple message, just by sort of changing and showing people respect. So many years ago now, at that time, I was asked by some of the government organisations in London could I start bringing together communities, showing the value of communities, showing respect to communities, showing how communities have actually really helped to build Britain today. And I think that is such an important message. And when I look at the values that communities have brought to Britain, they're immense. I'm proud to know you're all tonight. I'm proud to sort of see how many people have come tonight from different countries, from different denominations, because this is how we get things done. And I think the reality, is that bringing people together, bringing communities together. And sometimes I had some, what I would call some strange bedfellows, nothing personal in the way of religion, but I started creating cross-fertilization between an Islam channel and a Christian channel. And at first, they were wondering where all this was going. But over a period of time, this became a very valued opportunity for them both to be talking about the things that really bring us together. As the ladies in the audience know tonight as well, I'm a biggest feminist. I fight for females a lot as well, and what I think women can bring to the world. And no disrespect to the gentlemen here, but I think if more women as well were sort of seen to be in places of power, then perhaps we could be a slightly more happier generation at the same time. And I think for me. When I see what is going on in this world right now, we need peace. We need organizations like this organization that will bring value to all people. And there's no constraints. And that's one of the biggest values of UPF. There's no constraints over how people, their religions, their views on things. It's an all-encompassing church of values. And I think, the reality at the moment is this is what's really necessary to bring people together, to bring young people together. At the moment, I look to the future. And so, I get young people saying to me now, oh, you've got to go to fast channels. And I said, okay, well, what's a fast channel? And they're saying, you don't know what a fast channel is? No, I don't know what a fast channel is. And it's a modern communication system that is really the future of television as I know it as well. And I think, with my colleague Helen Ashard, what we were looking at recently was how do we, because we value our royal family, but how do we create something that will highlight her life, her views, and her values? What is the type of thing that would globally work? So I'm happy tonight to just to sort of say we're going to launch the Peace TV channel. And thank you. And the Peace TV channel will have centres in Sydney, in Beirut, in New York, and London initially, and we hope that with people like yourselves, we may be able to sort of create further centres in different countries across the world as well. And the primary aim to start off with is, I virtually can't see anybody my age, but there used to be a thing called pen pals. And pen pals used to be a system where, school children from different countries could talk to each other. So our aim, first of all, is to create the modern version of pen pals. So we can actually bring different school children from different countries, and they can talk about their lives. They can talk about their ambitions. They can talk about what they want, because basically they are our future. They are our hope. They are our means of actually creating peace. I go back a long time in politics and in history as well. And I was one of the first Western journalists to be allowed into Moscow after Perestroika. And at that time, I was thinking, what am I going to expect? Because all the way through my young years, we were told about the Iron Curtain. We were told about, if you go beyond the Iron Curtain, that's it. You'll never see Western society again. When I went there, I couldn't have met a more affable, wonderful people. So in my world, people don't cause problems. And so, and when you can communicate people together in peace, then peaceful solutions can be found as well. And I think, as I moved on, I moved into politics. I have this great interest in politics. And so for my sins, I became a spin doctor at one time at Number 10. And I worked behind the scenes with John Major's government and started helping to create the right ambience for that government at that time. And I think nowadays, using those same skills, basically nowadays, the world is all about messaging now. It's all about getting the message across, the simple message across, that actually is effective and memorable at the same time. And a very quick story, and it's a royal story, so you'll have to forgive me, because obviously that's one of the things I do. And about 8 or 9 years ago, Prince George had just been born. And I was called to NBC. I work for the big American channels as well. So I was called to NBC, and they said, we want you to comment on some photographs. This is the first official photographs. Bearing in mind, just to explain to you, I did Prince William's first baby shots with Charles and Diana. So I was a commissioned raw photographer before I moved into broadcasting. And so these photographs came up, and they were terrible. They were so bad, I won't say the exact words, but the phrase almost, to paraphrase the phrase, it was Mr. Smart Person, and they didn't use the word person. What are you going to say about this then? Because they were out of focus, they were terrible technically, physically, and these are supposed to be the official photographs that go out right across the world. And it turned out that Kate's father had taken them on his iPhone. So I managed to meander through that situation at NBC. I'm coming out of NBC, the BBC is ringing up, and so for the rest of the night, till about 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm at the BBC, I'm talking to all the worldwide channels, BBC News, and they're all saying, you've got to hammer these pictures. You can't say for 1 second these pictures are any good at all. For goodness sake, don't ever even utter the words, there's anything interesting about them. And at the same time, I had colleagues and people very high up in the palace saying, please find anything at all that is good about these photographs, because they were in what we call a bunker position. They were getting calls from all over the world saying, what on earth are you putting these photographs out for? I get 2 hours sleep, and then the following morning I'm on breakfast television. Same thing applies. The presenters are saying to me, you can't say anything good about these photographs. You mustn't say anything good about these photographs because this is a terrible situation that has developed. And yet at the same time, ringing in my ears is the palace saying, for goodness sake, find anything at all that is interesting about these photographs. And so I'm on set, 6:15 in the morning, and they're saying to me, you've really got to pan these photographs. Don't say anything good about these photographs at all. So I'm listening to this, and also the voice in my head saying, the palace is saying, for goodness sake, just find anything. And I'm looking at these photographs, and I suddenly realised the only person that looks half decent is Kate. So anyway, so they introduced me, Ian Pelham-Turner, former royal photographer, blah, blah, blah. You can't say these photographs are any good. And I said, I do agree with you that technically, talk about an understatement, that technically these photographs were not the best photographs. But then this phrase came into my head, and it's basically, this is what I do. I create sound bites as well. But the phrase that came into my head and that came out of my mouth was, only a father could take the look of love in Kate's eyes. Even the camera crew went, and I knew I'd got them, because that within minutes went right across the world. So powerful messaging can create peace as well, is the point that I was making about this at the same time. And I think, when I look at all you ladies and gentlemen tonight, we're here for a purpose. We're here to communicate with each other. We're here to talk to each other. We're here to actually show the values as well. So I'm very pleased to be talking to you tonight. You'll have to forgive me because my voice is still rather strained from 10 days of doing all this, but I hope that the message I want to give out tonight is that UPF really does bring peace to this world, and it should be encouraged. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. I forgot my job.
Very interesting. Another perspective on life, isn't it? Next, I wanted to go back to our religious perspective, and a person you all know very well, so most people here know very well, Sheikh Ramzi. Sheikh Hojjat Ramzi is originally born in Tehran, but came here very young, and is a leading figure in the Muslim community here in the UK, is often on TV responding to one situation or another, or campaigning about one human rights situation or another. But also he was a trustee of UPF here in the UK. So we'd like to welcome up Sheikh Ramzi this time, once he's arranged his filming. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you all. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you. Before I start, of course, I would like to say tribute to our brother Hindus, where she said very nicely. And he was talking at the end. He was talking about the may the water bring a peace, may the bird bring a peace, and all. And he forgot to say, may the Sheikh Ramzi bring a peace, because I'm very, very, very determined to bring a peace to the world, and by the grace of God, I will bring it. Simple as that. But is it take a time? If the Almighty God give me time, I will bring it alone or with all the brothers and sisters. If it's not not my fault if they take me. I greet you with Islamic greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May peace and blessing of Allah be upon you all. Before I start, I would like to say that I work and live to serve humanity. This is my job. I do it anywhere, all over the world, any place. Presidential, kings, queens. Or I work in the street with the poor and needy. Sit with them in the street and eat with them. King and paupers is the same to me. They are human, and I am their servant. I would like to, I say this is between, maybe is out of the context, but I met during my life, speaking to the people in the street and all, multi-million people, one-to-one talking. And this is, I'm proud about it. Because not even one person is the same. Not even a 2 person the same. It's impossible to be. 7-8 billion people is here, and billions of people came and are gone. Not even one the same. That's proud to know each other, to see each other. You may not see him again in the universes or multi-universes, or may see him in another universe, and I say, hi, I remember I see you. These are very, very important. This is a top of consciousness, which we're talking later. My brother and sister, of course, I find it difficult to talk about myself and what I've done for humanity and my passion for the justice and peace. One does not blow his trumpet. And I did not want to be seen that I'm showing off. That I've done because I've done for humanity. If I done for humanity, if I said I lose the spirit which he has. Because working for Almighty God, serving Almighty God, you don't ask for anything. When you're serving the God, you do it as a sincere. And of course, I was going to say, oh, brother and sister, can you Google me? You will find out what I am. However, talk to them, go very well. However, what I'm saying here is for all benefits, all to benefits. Perhaps somebody learned something and take away something of my experience. My passion is serving humanity and serving the environment in serving God. Brothers and sisters in humanity, I worked decades to serve the humanity without asking anything at all. As when you work for the God, do not ask. Of course, in general, during the decades, I've got a brother here, which he knows, he can say I done. During the decades of working fundraising, I raised them multi-millions for the people, poor people around the world. With the many organizations, big organizations and small, to save their life, and to bring happiness to the families, which they were in need, all over the world. Does not matter if he was a Muslim or not. On the matter of the bringing peace and justice, which is a political, different things, peace and justice bringing to the world. I've worked with many organizations, governmental, all over the world, or NGOs. Create many organizations to help and implement justice and peace. Be it Palestine, Israel being Palestine, Iraq, Pakistan, Yemen, Afghanistan, Syria, Kashmir, whole Africa, been there. Bosnia, Burma, China, Korea, India, Turkey, Iran, and the reason Ukraine, and all we're going forward. Never ends. My brothers and sisters, the story is a lot, but I would like to say a few of them which maybe we learn and join. Few of these, 3 or 4, 3 success, I feel it's 3 success and 1 failure. They're very, very important organizations. One was the Rohingya Burma, 1 million people, 1 million been thrown out of the country. 25 to 30,000 people was raped, gang raped, burned, stamped, the children burned, stamped on their head, and throw him in the fire, and the father been shot. It's happening. We have evidence. When I started, no one would dare to say, it's too difficult. No one want to say anything at that time. Sorry, I'm trying to get my train of my thought gone in the wrong direction. Nobody want dare to say anything, and I talked to, of course, many, and I started this when the people says it's impossible. Don't say that. I said one thing. Which I told to the head of the staff of armies, Sir Houghton. I told him, he's a very good man, very good friend. And I told him I want to do that. And he said, do you know who is behind him? Behind the Burma? I said, who? He said, China. I said, do you know who is behind me? He said, who? I said, the Almighty God. He went back, said, yes, sir. hand in heart. Yes, sir. And of course, he tried to help. And at that time, 500 or several armies was here, and of course, they sacked them all. However, they burned and destroyed. I talked to the UN head of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, and I accused him. I said, is that genocide or not? In front of him. Is that genocide? He said, I don't know. We have to help. I said, we are. What are you going to do with the Rohingya 1 million? He said, we have to help them. I said, is that a genocide? He said, we have to help them, just like that. There are all evidences there, all documented. I said, no, I'm saying the genocide. That's the difference with the helping 1 million. 30,000 people has been raped and destroyed. Is that all right? And he said that. And of course, he asked me to come and talk, and he said, give me the evidence and I shall do it. And we gave very slowly evidence. We worked with the United Nations. We worked with the ICC's Fatou Bensouda. Fatou Bensouda was one of the great, of course, head of the prosecutor ICC. I brought him and I accused him. He said, woo, when I said it's a Burma and China, woo, just like that, hand in heart. In Oxford University, I'm part of Oxford University. I said, they are dying, they are burned, they are destroyed. You sitting here and talking, whoa, we are scared. It's very sensitive. That's what, very sensitive. We talk when we started, we talk half an hour, and of course, with the 3 months, she made the dossier which accused them completely. And the United Nations, of course, Antonio Guterres done exactly the same. I'm not saying I pushed them, I'm saying one of the little push was from me. This was what happening. And of course, today, my brother and sister, today I heard, we got a Gambia at the moment, Gambia and Argentina, where we are together with I'm Director of Justice for Rohingya, and of course we have some friends here as well, which are the directors. Gambia, we are taking 12 of the generals to court with the Gambia and the Argentina. And today I heard, I was in a meeting with an American organization, they said tens of thousands of the Christian in Burma has been raped and killed. Christians, wake up. And I said, we work together. He said, yes, we are working together now. It's today happened. However, my friend, it was Uyghur, of course, we are talking about 2 million Uyghur or Uyghurs. They are in China. Before I forgot, we campaigned for the Rohingya. The country, the government of UK accepted as a genocide. Nowhere else accepted as genocide. That was one of the things which within China 2 million. Any organ coming from the China to here without a license, which my brother and sister getting it. I talked to in the House of Lords as well. You getting it, you buying it, 100,000, 50,000 coming from the people, coming from my people in China. They are real slavery. Remember the black slavery is a real slavery which they are doing. It's a doom and gloom. But of course, we never give up. Remember, we never give up. This is for the people. They have been sold. Organ has been sold. They are destroyed. Of course, we are talking 3 years. 3 years I started, of course, I brought the head of the Uyghurs in here, especially here, and talked to Robin, that was Rahima Mahout, Robin, and they do an excellent job. And we went to the government, and of course, in the parliament, and the parliament accept the Chinese are doing genocide to them. And thanks God for that. Now, another thing I tell you, of course, is a very, very good one. I shouldn't talk about myself, of course, but I'm saying what happened and what we're doing for the world. Justice and peace. There is no peace and justice. Justice and peace. The fruit of justice is peace. The fruit of justice is peace. There is nothing called peace and justice. Now, we had Syria. Syria, of course, again, I'm one of the advisors of the MOD. MOD, of course, the Minister of Defense. Sometimes the brothers come in as well, of course. Minister of Defense, they asked us, they said, we want to go to Syria. We want to go to Syria. What is your, Dr. Ramzi, Sheikh, what is your opinion? We want to bomb Syria, and America want to bomb Syria. We're going to follow America. And Sir Houghton was there again. 2 or 3 years ago, it was several years. And Sir Houghton, how we can get out of it. He said, if 21 MPs say, no, we don't go. In the evening, I came and phoned my fellow, of course, MPs, and I said, situation is a very close friend. Situation is like, can we stop the UK not to go and kill the thousands of people? Because when you go in there, 30, 40, 50,000, you can't see even the death. You say mission completed, but you don't know how many children, how many mothers, how many old people were died at that time. Mission completed. That's what they do. There is no remorse for anyone. And we done it, of course, within 3 days we done it, alhamdulillah, by the grace of God. But she phoned me, said, Sheikh, you saved, I shouldn't say, saved thousands of people. We did not go, and America did not go either. And one of the great failure which I had, I said, of course, one of the great failure which I had, was Kashmir. 20, 30 years old, 30 years I'm working for Kashmir to become independent. I was the advisor of the interface advisor of course, President of Kashmir, Sardar Masood Khan, for a number of years. We brought him here and talked to him to see how we can bring. Unfortunately, the people who were around him, which I said I said this is, I'm saying it again, in the parliament, we were sitting down, about 20 MPs, Muslim MPs, and ministers, and lords, and whatever there, and he is speaking. The president is speaking, and I am there. You know what I said? I said to him, of course. I said, Mr. President, is your country got a gold? Yes. Said yes. Is your country got a diamond? He said yes. Country got a mineral. Country is rich. I said, these people were sitting down. They want your monies. None of them going to help you. None of them, and none of them did help. And they knew it. They just shut up. All them. I am saying it because it is because I'm sincere. They can't say I'm not sincere, and I'm not worried about anybody's. They know me; they're all friends. But it was a fact what I'm saying. Of course, said Dr. Ramzi, what do you want to say? I said, this way. If we want to bring it within 10 years, I promise you to bring it both. If the Pakistan give the place away as independent, and if we put the India to get it and become an independent. What they said? Oh no, we have to take it to the Pakistan. That I said, you're making a mistake. We argued, they didn't want to see me anymore. As I said, this one said, no, we have to go to Pakistan. And India, of course, said, over my dead body. And they take it, occupied 700,000 people out there. Therefore, my brothers and sisters, of course, these are happening. But we never give up. They deserve to be independent. We never give up. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Holy Quran, "En tansurullaha yansurukum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum." That means what the Almighty God says. He said, if you help the Almighty God, He will help you and make your feet firm. I work for God, sincerely. I would like to say, of course, the important thing is, my brothers and sisters, these are happening, all need your helps. We are sitting and we're talking and we do nothing. The people are dying. One thing I would like to say, of course, when you serve the Almighty God, you become conscious. Your sins, you become conscious. This is very important. What we do, what the human do. Excuse me. What the people do is, at the moment, the government, all the world, make sure you're using left side of your hemisphere of your brain. And I tell you, go and Google it. It's only for the monies, only for the luxuries, only for the thing, and no humanity. Right side does. However, when you work for God, the senses, your senses, of course, your consciousness come in. Two way. We got it. First stage of the 1 or 2 stage is a humanity, just like us. Just think about monies, work, bigger television, bigger television, bigger sofa, and that. The third and the fourth and fifth. If you come to the 6th, you don't feel for yourself. You feel for people. You forget yourself. You totally forget yourself. You feel the pain of the people. You care. You become the servant. You feel the environment different. You see it completely different. You feel the happiness. You feel the environment. Therefore, you will become humanity. You will become the earth. You see different. You see the structure. Not just me. You put the him, you the first. And that's called, they say that, of course, human is a miniature cosmos. Human is the miniature cosmos. And that's the things which you get if you help the people. You forgot everything else and everything come beauty for you. God bless you all. One thing I was going to say, of course, about Her Majesty the Queen. It's very important to say it here. I met Her Majesty at least 3 times, shaking her hand and talking. And of course, I saw him in Oxford. She helped me. She helped me a lot. I have an archive with Her Majesty, and of course, first to see me in Oxford, we talk, and with everything else, and a lot of things happened. We were 5 or 6 minutes we were talking, where everybody is standing around. She found it interesting, and of course, when I went to the palace, and I was the end. Brother knows he was there as well. I was the end completely, and of course, Her Majesty with everybody else is coming. And she came, I nodded my head, and she came and said, I know you. And broke her hand. I brought her hand, and I said, yes, Majesty, you know me about this. And she was great lady. After 10 years, she would remember. But she couldn't remember my name, but she remembered the face, and that was great for me. And it is very important, of course. I'm not a royalist, but I loved this woman. God bless her soul. And thank you very much for listening. Yes. Yes.
As an educated and moderate Sheikh of Islam, I want to know what you think about what is happening in Iran and how many women being killed and an awful regime. So please,
that's yes.
Where does in Islam
Yes.
said even in Quran?
You're absolutely right.
About hijab and they have to do
You are
what happening about women's rights?
Yeah.
Please,
Thank you. No. Excuse me, because all day, you believe me, it's the fourth meeting which I was speaking. No, you have a point. Excellent. It is not Islam. It is a tradition of the countries. Nothing. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. It's a tradition of the country, my dear sister. Nothing to do with Islam. If I say Islam does not say the hijab, you are a Muslim, the other one Muslim. I asked, with all respect, of course, I shouldn't say that. I asked the woman sleep for money. I said, are you Muslim? He said, yes, I am doing that, but I am Muslim. Nobody can take that one off my heart. There is different things. Therefore, the hijab does not make you Muslim. The thing does not make you Muslim. If you are naked, does not make you Muslim. Un-Muslim, non-Muslim. The important thing is countries, of course, which they have to come and become more civilized, perhaps. I don't know. God bless you. But again, I said this is nothing to do. It's a tradition. Afghanistan got a different tradition. Pakistan got a different tradition, and Iran has different. And by the grace of God. If it was my opinion, I would say the woman has the right to wear anything she likes.
I meant about the cruel regime in Iran. What do you think?
Yes, as I said, this, everywhere, of course. I'm talking about Iraq as well, Pakistan as well, and Iran as well. It's all tradition, not Islam, tradition coming to, and the tradition of what can we do about it. Thank you.
I liked Sheikh Ramzi's talk, particularly this view of humanity Horace Walpole, he said once, you know, the world is a comedy to those that think and a tragedy to those that feel. And in a sense, I think the founder of UPF, he talked about God's heart, or the heart of the divine. And he said when he touched it, he couldn't stop crying because of the suffering of people. He just cried and cried, and his face swelled up. There was a pool of tears. And in a sense, when our mind becomes big, then really the kind of things that Sheikh Ramzi was talking about become real. This broad feeling of humanity being one family, embraced by a divine being, but this loved by a divine being. We have to have a different mindset. Sorry, I didn't mean to give a second talk. But a few years ago, I took British Korean War veterans to Korea, and it was quite a surprise to me that it happened. But suddenly, you know, I was in a right place at the right time, and I was asked if I could go with them. They were all in their late 80s at that time, and they needed escorting, etc. But one thing talking to them, one thing is very common, was that they really appreciated peace. Through their military experience, they really understood the value of peace. They knew sometimes that something needed to be fought for, but another time, you know, they knew the value of peace because they saw what happened when there was a lack of it. And this is why our dignitary today is so important. His experience has given him a great wisdom. I've heard from a number of people about he's a very wise and learned man. But if I could just read his bio. So Lieutenant General Abdul Qayyum was elected as senator on the general seat of the Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz, from Punjab. He holds an MSc degree from Quad Azam University and currently chairs the Committee on Defence Production. I think this is maybe when you were present in the Senate. You are a retired 3-star general of the Pakistan Army. You've been the chairman and CEO of Pakistan Ordnance Factories Board and Pakistan Steel Mills Board of Directors. You're a veteran of the 1971 Indo-Pakistan War, and you've been a member of the faculty of the National Defence College, now University of Pakistan. You've also served as the military secretary with 2 prime ministers of Pakistan. You are a renowned national political defense analyst, a popular Urdu language columnist, and author of 5 books. So, excuse me if I got the pronunciation wrong, but we're so grateful that you could come and visit us today. Thank you so much. We would like to present you with the Ambassador for Peace Award. We're going to present Ambassador for Peace Award first, okay, and then ask you to speak afterwards. Mr. Khokhar, I insisted. So, someone who has such a distinguished career, we're very grateful to present to them an Ambassador for Peace Award.
Yes, of course. 1 minute.
So, can I ask Margaret to come up?
Margaret? Margaret, can you join us, please?
Too many men on the stage at the same
Stand
time.
next to them, sir. Stand next to them, of course.
So,
Okay, sir, thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
congratulations to you.
Okay, so kind. Thank you very much. Okay, so nice, sir. Thanks a lot.
And Mr. Khokhar would like to present you a bouquet of flowers.
Flower for you. Thank you so much for coming for UPF.
So kind.
Your member of the UPF. It's an honor to have you on board. Yes.
Thanks a lot. Okay. Thank you very much. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to put this on your chair.
Okay,
And if
fine,
you'd
so
like to-
nice. Yeah, Shazada,
Thank you.
take.
Thank you.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. I start in the name of Allah Almighty, who is most beneficent and merciful. Ladies and gentlemen, I am really grateful to Robin Marsh and his team to give me this honor to come here in your monthly meeting in this organization, which is Universal Peace Federation, and share my views very briefly. It indeed, I understand, I read about the federation, and I know that initially it started as a unification church, and it was primarily confined to Christian community. But later on, when this federation came up, then we are now thinking of global peace, international peace, which is a very, very nice objective and very, very positive thinking. But opposite of peace is conflict, fights, battles, wars. And since I am a soldier, I have been a soldier also, I feel that is more important, that you have to go to those details as to why these conflicts and battles took place. And if you can forestall this thing again, then there will be a global peace. And especially in these environments, when we have, world has become a global village, as they say, because of the information explosion, then regional and local issues cannot be compartmentalized. Because anything which is happening, let's say, in any region, South Asia, Southeast Asia, Middle East, Europe, it affects the entire world. So therefore, all the more reason that it is important that our thinking should also be global. We need to have a global approach for peace. And only then we will be able to have peace in the world. I salute the founder of this Peace Federation, Sun Myung Moon. Yeah, there is no more with us, but from South Korea. And I think initially in Seoul this meeting took place, and then he came upon this very, very pious mission to create peace in the world. I would start with this, that conflict on this globe is, our wars are as old as humanity. When the mankind came into being after Adam and Eve, the conflict started, and the first, it started when Qabil, a brother of Habil, killed his brother, and both were sons of Adam, and that was the first murder that took place on this earth. And it is referred to both in, not only in Quran-e-Kareem, but also in Bible, Old Testament, and also the Jewish version of the Bible. It is all there that this is how it started. And thereafter what happened? You know that there were wars in the prehistoric period. There were Roman Empire's wars and so on. Then Napoleonic wars, American Civil Wars, and then at the beginning, and many people were killed in those wars, many were displaced. But real damage was done beginning of 20th century, when First World War started off, 1914 to 1918. And I'm sure you all know that in that war, millions of people were killed. Total strength is about 10 million soldiers and 7 million civilians. And in addition to that, this was 17 million people killed. So thereafter, and in addition to that were many wounded, many displaced, and then many conventions came up. And it was realized that we need to have a body internationally which should work for international peace. So League of Nations came into being in 1920. And it was thought that that League of Nations, where all countries are the members, they'll be able to create international peace. But unfortunately, that did not happen. And despite the presence of League of Nations, you know that in 1939 to 1945, Second World War took place. And in that, you know how many casualties? 60 million army soldiers and 40 million civilians, all told about 10 million. This has been about 100 million people, 100 million. And in that, again, nuclear bombs were also used on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Innocent elders, children, women, folk, properties destroyed, and that happened. This was all devastation. And then it was realized that we need to have another organization. And 1945, after 1945, then 1948, probably 1947, 48, United Nations came into being. And this was with a purpose. The objectives of United Nations were peacekeeping, conflict resolution, issues of refugees. These are the broader objectives. Population control, then education, health, environments, climate. They are very, very good and very right objectives of the United Nations. But has United Nations been able to really contribute to this? Unfortunately, these objectives have not been able to, we have not been able to meet. And what has happened? Even after the Second World War and after United Nations came into being, many casualties have taken place, almost as big as during First World War. There have been wars. How many? For example, the Korean War, Vietnam War, Arab-Israel wars. You know what happened in. Then Gulf Wars, Syria, Libya, Iran-Iraq wars. Then conflict in the Palestine and Israel conflict, and in South Asia, Indo-Pakistan wars on Kashmir, and many people were killed and all that. Now, you see, for this, there has never, why this has happened, because, and why the United Nations could not control this, despite their peacekeeping missions. And with pride, I would say that Pakistan at one time had the largest contribution to peacekeeping missions of the United Nations. When I was in the Army Military Operation Directorate, I was also attached with United Nations for 2 years as a liaison officer, United Nations Military Observer Group in India and Pakistan. There were military observers from 36 countries, and there is a line of control. On one side is the Indian occupied Kashmir, and the other side is the Pakistani side of Kashmir. And my brother also mentioned about Kashmir. We don't say that, you see, the stance on Kashmir is that there is a UN charter and there are UN resolutions. According to those, there should be a decision, and the Kashmiris should be given a free choice to decide whether they want to be part of India or part of Pakistan. And then when they decide that, then in the Pakistani constitution, probably Article 247 and all, it says that then it is their will as to what arrangement they want with the country with which they decide to go. Like for example, if they go to Pakistan, then they will have to decide themselves as to what they want. So therefore, it is crystal clear. And the world body promised to them that you will be getting the right of self-determination. But unfortunately, this is the oldest issue today, 75 years. We in South Asia want to live in peace with all neighbors. When our founding father, Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, was asked, what would be the fundamentals of your foreign policy in Pakistan? He said 4 or 5 things. He said that we would like to create friends in the world. We have no aggressive designs, number one, against anybody. And we would like to have friendly relations with all countries, especially neighbors, including India, and also the superpowers. And then he also said, number 3, that in the international relations, we believe in honesty and fair play. And fourthly, he said that we would abide by the UN Charter and resolution. Since you made a body, United Nations, and unless we abide by its charter and its resolutions, there will be no peace, because then we are deceiving ourselves. There will be no conflict resolutions, there will be tension. People will suffer from all walks of life. And lastly, he said, the point of our foreign policy, which is today even fundamental, that we will stand as a member of the United Nations with all oppressed and suppressed nations. Whether they are Muslims, they are Christians, they are Hindus, they are Sikhs, they are from any community. Because we have committed to, as a member of the United Nations, that we will abide by the Charter. But unfortunately, this has not happened. Why it hasn't happened? That warrants an analysis. And that is because the organization of the United Nations had that inbuilt flaw. Today, we have a Security Council, and they are permanent members. And we have P5 countries. There is a veto power with few countries. Now, that is not democratic at all. Because every country, if we are all equal, small or big, then we should all have a vote, and we should all sit together and decide how do we want peace in the world. But that is not happening. Veto on Kashmir, veto on Palestine, veto on this side, veto on that side, not based on human rights, not based on democratic norms, not based on freedom and that right that UN Charter gives you. And secondly, today in the permanent members, there is no, for example, representation of the Muslim world. 1.5 billion people have no representation in the United Nations in that permanent setup. For example, the African Union, 54 or 56 countries have no representation. For example, South America has no representation in those P5 countries. There should be more countries. But we don't believe in that veto thing. You see, if big and small countries are all equal internationally, and they all have to have their right for their sovereignty and territorial integrity, and we believe and we have signed that charter of the United Nations, and we feel proud that we are a member, and we have annual meetings of the United Nations, then we should see that we implement that in true letter and spirit. That unfortunately is not being done. So therefore, no peace. You see, today in our communities, we need peace. Yes, there will be peace. In a country, there may be peace, but the country will be affected with this international climate and all these conflicts which are taking place. Today, Russia and Ukraine are at war. Western Europe is affected, the world is affected. You need grains, you need gas, you need oil, you need everything. And similarly, at our doorstep, Afghanistan has been a battleground. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we have about 3.5 million refugees, Afghan refugees in Pakistan. No country is helping. We are all feeding them. Because they are into our business, they are into our transport, they are into the crimes, and under the garb of those refugees, there are terrorists who come in because there are porous borders and all that. So unless we have cooperation of the entire world, and especially the bigger countries, like the United States of America, Russia, China, Britain, France, and so on. At one time, in 2016, I came as a special envoy of the Prime Minister on Kashmir to United Kingdom. And I went to House of Lords and I met many people. I went to Amnesty International also. I met high officials there. And they said, General, tell us. I was talking about Kashmir. I said, you should make us sit together. And through peaceful means, we should reach a conclusion and then concentrate not on defense hardware, but on education and health for people. Because the biggest gathering of the hungry people and below poverty is in the subcontinent. Mainly in India, because it's a very big country, and also Pakistan, the situation is also not good. So, Afghan situation is still worst. So they said, some of the officials, they told me, what is our incentive? I said, you left that conflict there when you were doing the division, and you said Muslim majority areas will go this side, and you left it. So you were part of the problem. You should be part of the solution also. And I was grateful, Field Marshal Guthrie, the Lord Field Marshal Guthrie. He was kind. He invited me on a breakfast meeting. I met him. And then I showed him the different atrocities like the pellet guns used and girls being blinded and all that and all those miseries that I saw tears in his eyes, and he said these things should be highlighted. Why are we fighting with each other? We are all sons and daughters of Adam and Eve. We should we should live as human beings. Human beings is a great creation of Allah Almighty. And Quran says that if one individual is killed, you have killed the entire humanity. I was the other day talking to another forum in Birmingham, and I was telling them that in our, for example, Islamic teaching, that the Holy Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, once said that God Almighty has the directions, and in that, one is that if somebody has been unreasonable to you, you should forgive him. Number two, if somebody gives you cold shoulder, you should get close to him. And if someone deprives you of something, you should give him something. Now that is a very big philosophy for people, bringing them together. And that is what I am sure the entire humanity wants. So therefore, I am really grateful. And I would say that my recommendation would be for a lasting peace in this world where we are now close to 8 billion people, that we should, one, work on the reorganization of the United Nations, make it more potent and effective so that it could implement whatever it says. And we should all be duty-bound to listen to the Charter and the resolutions. And in that, it is important that United Nations, there should be a strong peacekeeping force, which should, for example, immediately move to, let's say, if there's an Afghanistan conflict, they should go there, take over, make sure that people are satisfied, bring peace, and then get out from there. And similarly, for creating religious harmony. Our scholars, some of them, they go on to the tangent on one side and another. They don't create love and affection. They don't talk of tolerance and acceptance of other religions. I'll quote you examples. For example, our Holy Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, when he was in Medina, Again, if there was a conflict between a Jew and a Muslim or a Christian and a Muslim, he many times gave decisions in the favor of the non-Muslims, and he said, no, you have to do justice. Now that type of thing must prevail. And here in our countries, there are different sects, and that is how they create hatred. And those fault lines in different countries are then exploited by the other countries. And this is how then we create, we destroy that peace, and we are not able to live in peace. So therefore, my appeal would be tolerance, respect for each other's religion, respect for each other's thoughts and their beliefs, and then reinforce the organizations like Universal Peace Federation. That's a very noble cause that you have started, Robin Marsh. I'm so grateful, and your staff. And I am really honored to be here and to say that. And my last message would be that whereas we can work in our communities as good human beings to create peace and harmony, our main concern should be global. And on that account, the United Nations can really play a very vital role. And to create that vital role, I think these bigger parts like United States of America and P5 countries must give representation to other nations. And for that, we must work for that charter and all that. There is a Quranic verse, I would finish on that, and it says, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. And that is, the English translation is, lose not heart, nor fall into despair, for ye must gain mastery if you are true in faith and belief for the peace. So thank you very much once again for being here.
We need more people, more leaders like you and many others amongst us who care for others, for care for others' views, others' opinion, how to work together. It's a very good message. Thank you. Now I'm standing for women. I'm going to invite two women to come here. The reason is our women speaker is so kind, even to her dog, and the dog is dying. So she's afraid she's dying today, and she couldn't come. So therefore, I am going to make a little group of women to say a few words about peace. I don't think we can do without women, can you? No. Okay, I'll invite my friend Merita Isufi, and also my other friend, Caroline, to come here. But I want to say, come anyway. I want to say a few words myself. You spoke about various parts of peace and lack of war, and war kind of creating, wanting to have peace. But what I would say is, peace for me is very fundamental. Peace is, the most difficult one is inner peace, yourself, Second most difficult one is peace in the family. These two things must be approached and really studied and work for it. If you say to me, what is the best place in the world? It's in my family. That's how it is. Because there I found peace. I loved my family. Now, the most kind of important one is, peace is knowing the other, the person that you don't know. You should respect your neighbor. You should respect somebody who wears turban and you don't know why he's wearing the turban. Please ask him. Talk to him. Now, this is why in Universal Peace Federation, we take the most fundamental opinion that peace must come through people. Peace is not something that is going to be connected. But for religious, what my respected gentleman said, our Father Moon said, the very last group of people who will bring peace is until all religions walk together. That all religions say, we are from God. We are not better than you. And you are not better than me. And her and the other. That we are the children of God. If we are really so much privileged to have God in our life, how much more we should be privileged to have our brothers and sisters in our life. You know, God didn't give us something for just ourselves. It's for everybody. So love is peace. Give and take is peace. Knowing each other is peace. That is why you will never find a UPF meeting where there is only black people, only white people, only. You will find every color, every heart, everything there. And we should continue. This is the purpose of God, I feel. Why do you think we don't have peace? Because God is out of the equation. God isn't there. We have to invite God with us to bring peace with us. Holding hands together. Not to say to you, oh, I really like Islam, but maybe, yeah, it's very nice. And then after, oh my God, these people. I've heard these people like that, who speak like that. Oh, the Christians are like this and like that. If we can all forget that we are better, then we are all good together. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, this is my my piece. No, sorry. Now my sister will say something. Everybody is different. You know, we just could get something from each other.
Thank you, Margaret. It was really great to listen to all the speakers tonight and being in a place where it's talked about peace, the most important thing, the most important subject in the world for the world to function properly. Peace does not come without justice and equality. When I was little, I heard the word peace often, and I used to ask, I used to listen to my mom saying, you have to be in peace with yourself. And I didn't quite understand, and I asked my mom, so what does that mean, being in peace with yourself? How do you know when you are in peace with yourself? And her response was, when you go to bed at night, and you think what you've done during the day, and you think that you've done the right thing for yourself, but also for the person that you've been in contact with, for other people that you've been in contact with, you sleep well at night. And when you sleep well at night, you are in peace. So, and always I remember that you know yourself when you've done the right thing. Because to bring that justice in our community, you have to do the right thing. To do the right thing not only for yourself and what benefits you, but what is good for other person as well. To show that love and care and kindness and compassion and empathy and support. Support where is needed. And if we don't do it, if we just wait for the leaders to do that, that's not going to happen. No. Every single one of us have to contribute towards peace. And thank you for listening. It was nice to listen to all of you, and thank you for all the messages that you shared with us today. Very inspiring.
This is Caroline Hayward, my long known friend.
Thank you, Margaret. Caroline Hayward, also known as Harley Street stress expert. I have something quite profound to share with you. I was 12 years old and somebody told me I was a pacifist. I didn't even know what the word meant. And I went and looked in the dictionary, because we had those in those days. I'm older than I look. And when I looked in the dictionary, I said, hey, that is exactly who I am and what I believe and how I live and how I walk and how I talk. and how I value my life and others. We've talked a lot about war, and I used to avoid it like the plague. It used to really upset me. So I wouldn't watch it, and if I didn't watch it, then I wasn't affected. That was where my pacifist nature came from. I do understand it's there, and it's very upsetting. But you know, peace starts here. It starts with each and every one of us, as we've been hearing. Peace it's not here. It's not what we say. It's how we be. It's how we live, how we respond, how we connect, and how we speak to ourselves. My version of peace is to move from here, from the head, the thinking, the analytical debate, to the heart. It looks like a short distance, but it's a long journey for many, and sometimes we don't get there. But my invitation to you is to take that journey, to move from ego, the dominion of the stress, and move into the heart. Because when you move into the heart, all there is calm, joy, compassion, and love. I'll share one final thing with you. One of my mottos, one of the things I sign off my emails with is Namaste. And Namaste it loosely translates to the divine in me. So the best, the greatest part of me. So the pure spirit of me meets the pure spirit of you. This is how we create world peace, one by one, moving from head to heart. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you. I have just 1 minute. I have a few. Thank you. I have a few people asking me, is there any questions? Where is Robin now? Oh, Robin. Is at this stage possible for that to happen? Because time is very short. We should have left now. But it's okay. Everybody also hasn't said anything. Just wait a little bit. What I would say is if somebody wants, Robin, is it okay to do this? Aurangzeb, you're asking, can somebody ask question? Also, somebody else said to me, you have a question, and you want to say something, and somebody else, I wanted actually my new friend to say something also, if you want. It's 8 already. So if we can have maybe 10 minutes maximum. Okay. Okay.
15, make it 15.
Okay. Here is Mr.
My name is Rizka.
Come here.
Yeah.
Please. It's enough.
Yeah. My name is Rizka. I'm from Kurdistan. I hear what you say. Sometimes it's making me upset when you are talking too much, but there's no action. Like
right.
What's happening in Iran now, for example. There is no freedom. How we can get a peace? That's
exactly.
a big question. So we are, as a Muslim, when we're talking about Muslim, I'm from the country. I came from Muslim country. But when I was brought up in my country, my dad, I remember, he always said to me, if you don't go to mosque, you will not come back, or if you come back, there is no food for you. So what's happening? So it's making me, my dad, me not to having a love with a God. So always, when my mom said to me, you are free today, your dad is not coming back. If you go to the mosque or not, you are free. So I would jump into the football until the late at night. I said to my friends, my dad is not here, I didn't go today. So that's why sometimes I'm confused whether I'm a good Muslim or not. Sometimes whether I believe as a Muslim I am, but I don't have much information. So for me, it's a very confusing. So that means now what's happening? Some people, I'm a son of the Sheikh, like a Sheikh. My dad is Sheikh Ali, is a famous in Kurdistan. So what happened? Now we always run away from the responsibility. So when we say, bring together, let's have what's happening in Iran now. not because of the woman. So they kill the woman every day. Not just this is a sample today. So now we have the all together as this Mr. He says something. So bringing together right now to do action, not just watching the football, watching the TVs. So time to protect humanity. So everywhere, not in this country. So there's no safe for me. There's no peace for me. Thank you so much for all of you.
Okay. I have a question to the General. Yeah, first of all, congratulations to our Mr. Robin Marsh and especially our great Margaret. We most welcome our General from our core of heart. My first question to our General that we're talking about here tonight for the peace. Who have to create and take first step to the peace? We talk a lot about the peace.
All of us.
The thing is, question 2. All ammunition makers, money makers, why the total big powers, including America? More than maybe 40 years ago, 40 years ago, they came to Afghanistan and they created one small group as a Lashkar-e-Taiba and preached them and forced them, provoked them against the Russia. When Russia was a USSR, as a big power, they used Pakistan army. That time they backed Pakistan army and want their support against the Russia. They used Pakistani army, they used the Lashkar-e-Taiba and broken the USSR, now is Russia. What is the basically reason behind that America left that Lashkar-e-Taiba behind and now they calling them Taliban? And Taliban just mean of students. Taliban is the students. So now they given one level to them. They are a terrorist. Is this right? This is my first question. And secondly, 20 years ago, once again, when Russia is already broken, they came to the Pakistan army and they begging them and they wanted to attack to the Afghanistan. They killed many of Afghanistani people, children, women, old. Now recently, they left Afghanistan and once again, they don't want to listen Pakistan army. Even Pakistan army told them don't come to bite the dust once again. Recently, they left. It's not only America, all the Europe countries, superpowers. They don't want to listen. This is my second question to you, sir. What was the reason behind this time when Imran Khan was the Prime Minister of the Pakistan and he was denied? Because when they are leaving Afghanistan and they say we could not achieve our interest within last 22 years when they killed all of the Afghanistani people in the name of their Taliban. Even they are created by the America. They were a Lashkar-e-Taiba. Now they given them name of the Taliban. And secondly, why not will this happen? Those people are spending millions, trillions to make ammunition. America can make, India can make. When another country, why they don't want to spend this money to make universities, colleges, hospitals? So can you please explain what was the reason behind when they left that time, like 40 years ago, when recently? Thank you, sir.
I think we have to allow to respond.
You see, my friend, your concern is very valid, and that is what we have been talking about, that there is no justice. And if there is no justice, there will be no peace. You see, in essence, we said, when United Nations is there, Why did Soviet Union had the courage to attack Afghanistan? That should have not happened. But when that happened, that since Soviet Union had expanded to Central Asian republics, we were fearing that they'll come down to Pakistan, and therefore we were not fighting American war, we were fighting our own war. And now when the Americans were there, they came in. Again, United Nations should have come in and said that you can't go there. But they were there, and Pakistan kept telling them that peaceful means should be used. And we have always been. And finally, they listened to us, and we negotiated that peace for Afghanistan, and they have gone back. So that is what, in essence, we say, if there is justice, there will be peace. But if you take a chit from the United Nations and make them, compel them to give you that permission to go and attack for a regime change to another country, there will be no peace. So, in fact, international injustice was the reason for this problem. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, there's one person online who's wants to speak, yes.
But can you tell them 1 minute, because I have to stop them. It's 10 minutes gone.
Is that okay? There we go. I'm sorry, could you introduce yourself? I'm sorry, I can't introduce you. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I know that you are under pressure for time, so I'm just going to share this. My organization, Global Peace Let's Talk, appreciates the invitation this evening. I have personally learned a lot. What I'm taking home with me tonight is the fruit of justice, is peace. Incredible speakers with a real passion for making a difference in this world is greatly respected and appreciated. My congratulations to this organization, Universal Peace. You are doing an incredible job. You are touching lives. You are making a difference. So you have my full support, as well as my organization, and I hope we will continue to work together. Thank you very much. All the speakers, congratulations.
Let us talk sometime, okay? On Zoom. Thank you. Now I think I would like, okay, this is, I said, my new friend. Only 1 minute.
1 minute?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do it, but I hope you bear with me if I go 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
One is enough. Because you look very...
Well, I just want to get a message across. It's about my country. What's going on in my country now, and everyone is watching in the news, it's not just the matter of this week or last week. It's been going on for more than 40 years. I'm a freelance interpreter, and I know from my own experience of this job that I have different cases of women coming to me and men every week, because I specialize in mental health cases, and I do interpret for Farsi-speaking ladies and gentlemen. They have all been through PTSD, they've had post-traumatic stress disorders, and some of them have severe depressions, and all it's been because of what they've been through. I work with refugees and asylum seekers. I've set up a charity for them with my own bare hands. I started with 3 people. Now I have over 100 people coming to me.
Awesome.
So it's just that when I see those scenes in the television now on YouTube, it's so sad for me to see women of my country, they're dragged into the vans, and then, you know, and I know what happens to them because they tell me, the ones that go through so many problems, I mean, horrific problems coming to this country. They go through the jungle, some of them, 3 or 4 months. They get financially, sexually, physically abused until they get here. And all because they are running away from the tortures and problems that they have in Iran. And I have Afghan ladies who have run away from Taliban invasion. And it's just so sad that no one is doing anything, and it's not ending. I don't know if it's because of diplomacy, political reasons. What is it for? Why they do? Why everyone is quiet?
I have a suggestion to make. There are a few very strong people here, Akhtar and you, and women, here there are women, and get your brothers as well. You can fight this, and you can make a campaign. You can make a campaign to show people.
I would love that.
I only see a little bit on television or something, and my friends say something. But if you give real documentation to people and let them understand, this is really terrible.
You saw the people outside Iranian embassy. You saw them on Golden Gate Bridge. There are so many people. And all I could do myself from my part, helping the women of my country, was setting up charity.
Yes.
So.
Faliba, can I call you by your name?
Yes, of course.
I also have a group of Persian people who.
You can work with her.
Yes.
And I support them and I help them.
Yes.
We have a regular weekly meeting, of course, in Watford. And I have got our mayor, I got our MP, I got one of legendary footballer behind me.
Okay.
So please join us.
I will.
Get in touch.
Yeah, go on.
Thank you. That gentleman.
Yes.
I don't know if this gentleman wants to ask
Yeah,
something.
I think he wants to speak after.
I just want you to take 1 minute.
I don't want 1 minute. I do not want 1 minute, Margaret. I don't want to speak. I have no question. I have a gift to share with you. We are honored today to have the most prominent film director from the Arab world who did the legend movie for General Abdul Nasser. And I am honored to introduce to you the voice of peace and love. The Saudi singer, the most prominent Saudi singer, and she wants to sing, just as a gift, a song for love for all of you.
Okay, yalla. The speaker is Mr. Ahmad Shariani. And I know about you. Yes.
Good evening. ايش تبغوا؟
أم كلثوم.
أم كلثوم. خليني.
Do you like غني لي؟ غني لي؟ غني لي شوي شوي غني لي وخد عيني غني لي شوي شوي غني لي وخد عيني خليني أقول ألحان يتمايل لها السمعين خليني أقول ألحان يتمايل لها السمعين وتنطط لها الأغصان النرجس مع الياسمين وتسافر لها الركبان طوين البوادي وطي شوي 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 غني لي غني وخد عيني.
So today is full of many surprises. So please.
I'm sorry, I'll not take more time. There was a reference to the Afghan government and Taliban and the women's rights in Afghanistan. I just want to say one thing, that Taliban government was established after Doha Accord with the United States and other countries, and according to a plan, the forces which had invaded Afghanistan went out, and Taliban were allowed to form their government. Now today, I think from these forums, we should appeal to the international community to recognize their government. Because if you recognize them, then you will send your embassies there, and they will make sure that the women's rights and the children's rights and the democratic norms will be there. But if you isolate them and they are economically deprived, then again terrorism will come up there and they will again indulge in this. So I would request that we should all recognize them, and there should be no restriction that any country which recognizes Afghanistan's government, there will be sanctions against them. That's it.
Your Excellency, you prepared something. Can I ask this gentleman to say one or two words? He's a most famous
film director from Syria, Ustad Anwar al-Kawadri.
Pleased to meet you. Filmmaking and cinema is the best message and the best mission. We are here in this world, the filmmakers, that to actually preach about peace, and what could be a better way that talk about peace through our movies. Movies can communicate with everybody from 4 years old to 90, 100 years old. No problem. So really, our mission on this earth is to actually try to show real things and expose any not humanitarian situation worldwide, whether it is to do with societies, with traditions, with religion abuse, with anything else. So it's very important to use this, and actually it's a big responsibility. So once, I'm not talking about propaganda. Some of them use it as propaganda. Propaganda is cheap. When you tackle a subject to do with anything to do with human rights abuse, women abuse, anything else, if it's not tackled properly in a very sensitive way within a storyline that appeals to the public, then you can actually, art is the most thing that God gave us. And what we should do is really communicate through God. Everybody loves Gandhi movie, for example, which was a huge and deserved about this movie that became very good. So it's basically, if you make movies that becomes, that brings the message to the world about certain personalities, that's why we are here for. So I hope that we take this and we use these tools to actually preach peace through movies. That's my order. Thank you.
Because I think we should give the awards now. For our where is okay. Okay, Mr. Shahid, what's that? Sota. Yeah, please give a warm award because this gentleman came to us through a friend, and he was so inspired about Robin, you must come. What's going on now? Let's come here. You come here, please. You know, he has come. He has come from our friend Aurangzeb, and he's always, very first time he came, he was interested how you do these things. You know? And then next time he came, he said he's working with an informal group of interfaith people. And I raised this £35 for you. So sweet. I'm so touched by that, you know. And then I find out that he does that small things for charity.
And for the Pakistan flood,
Pakistan flood, he raised a lot of money.
Yes.
But I mean, so did many people, of course, but he did by himself. Also, he has his own company, and within his own company, he does charity for
Dens, the homeless charity.
Homeless charity. And there's several. I'm sorry, I've left my phone somewhere. Tell us more.
Recently, I have been nominated as a special consultant for legal aid and just authority in Pakistan, which work under the Ministry of Human Rights as well. So basically, what they are doing just provide the legal aid to the vulnerable segment of society. As you know, this gentleman was saying earlier on, justice and peace, they all go together.
That's true.
They have a reciprocal system in the society. If there is no justice, we can't bring peace in the society. And,
so thank you.
And I would like to add a couple of more things, if you guys don't mind.
Sure.
Yeah? As you know, we are celebrating a peace day today. As the one thing said in the Quran, when Prophet was preaching to other peace people on him, so he said one thing, Allah asked him, come to the common terms between us and you. Instead of finding the different aspect, the common term is God is one, we all worship one God. Yeah? So if we try to find similarities between each other, then we can do a global joint effort to make our peace in the society, and that's the way it's going forward. And I totally agree with that lady who said making peace yourself, that's the most important thing. When you go to the sleep, just to think about it, what you have done all the day, and then this is where you just keep to calm your head, and you will be more calm.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and you always support.
General, would you like to come? This is my promise, basically, you know. So I have to bring right people for right organization, the Universal Peace Foundation. Yeah. So.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. God bless. God bless.
Thank you very much.
We have a nice lady who also does a bit of peace on her own. She's actually done a lot of things in her life, and she daily helps people. And peace is part of the deal. Her name is, come on, darling, Juliet Makhalila. Julia, darling, this is for you. She's from Kenya.
Thank you so much.
Actually, we presented this one time during COVID times, so
Thank you.
it was all online, so we're very grateful to in person.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thank you.
Thank you. I'm blessed. My name is Juliet Makapela, and I just want to appreciate this. And on behalf of the work that all of you do, and I've seen loads of faces that I've seen. On Margaret, I met her in World, is it Economic Forum?
Yes.
I met you. I was also nominated by Toyota. I spoke loads of times to Robin. I've seen so much work, and I've just seen Ian Pelham-Turner, and I've been listening to Dr. Ramzi, and many of you. I follow peace, and you know, I've just had Hayat speak, and I'm here with my friend here today, Sabrina. Thank you so much. I love you all.
Welcome.
And you know what is the most important thing? Happy International Day here today, September 21st, which is why you're here today. I'm celebrated, and I love you all. Thanks for celebrating.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but not least is my friend, who is the friend of my friend as well, Caroline. It's your friend that's getting an award today. I didn't realize he didn't have an award. For me, I thought he was an ambassador for peace. And suddenly I realized that he doesn't have one. So I'm very sorry it's delayed, because he likes to help UPF just because he likes it, because he likes our point of view, he likes our way of working, and he quietly does a lot of work that you don't know about. And yet, within his own community, he does a food bank every week, volunteering 1 day a week in Eastbourne, isn't it? Yeah, please, let's welcome Alex Ward. Say a few words, darling.
Thank you. Thank you to Caroline.
Here she's coming in.
Oh, there you are. For introducing me, however long that was ago. Yeah, thank you for all the speakers tonight. Thank you for doing what you do. It's a great organisation. As Margaret said, yeah, I feel at home here.
Yeah.
I share your vision. I share your values,
You sleep happy tonight.
and I will sleep happy tonight. I will sleep happy every night.
You got a lovely family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you done the pictures? Enough?
Yes.
Yeah, he told me that, I have a group of funders. We're trying to look for a good, how do I find out something in my heart was so touched by that. Thank you so much.
Okay.
God bless. Yeah. So we're going to get some money from you sometime.
Who would like to have a group photo?
Yay!
So please come. We need one row standing on the floor, another row on the stage.
No problem. Great. I think the toilets has to go in the back. You have to clear what the Shazada.
Can you come here? Says filmmaker, come.
I'll tell you what, it was a fourth expedition. Sorry. Tolerance stay back. Caroline, here. I think the tolerance stay hard. Sheikh has to stay in the very back because it's can't get it before Christmas. Just get it.
Come and stand there.
Listen, can we say cheese or chicken or what? Cheese, chicken. I can't hear. Everybody talking about themselves. Can we say peace? Peace is best one. Peace. And a smile as well. Peace.
One more for the last. One more, young man. Yes.
Come, get in there, come forward. Come a bit forward. Come a bit forward.
Yes.
That's it. Peace. Ali should have spoke. Just say something. No, just say it now. Yes. God, go on the top of the chair. 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 Make sure everybody is smiling. It's a family photo. That lady who is sitting there, please come forward. Yes, yes. Why are you sitting there for? It's a family. Anybody is a part of the family, come forward.
Smile, please.
Our family.
Yeah, here, look at that.
My brothers and sisters and me.
Bless you all. Bless you all. Sheikh is blessing everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
And you want to
Have a good night and a safe journey home. Thank you. Thank you.
About to let me know if you want to be a peace ambassador. Did you get his book? Born to Lead.
Recording